Oh, hi there. I didn't see you watching. Whoever might be watching this, well, whoever that is, what you're watching is a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role playing games online. Um, you can find them at gauntlet-rpg.com, where you'll find all the stuff they do, all about role playing games, from blogs to forums to their podcast network to their monthly zine, the Codex, which has supplements to existing games and original games in itself. You also find that there is a big push for a big event on the weekend of the 24th to the 27th, a very long weekend. GauntletCon 2019 is on. It is the Gauntlet's online role playing convention, hundreds of games, cool guests, panels, workshops, etc., etc. I was in the run up to this, I'll try to shout out one random thing from GauntletCon, and I might have shouted this out very recently, but I'll do it again. There's a workshop on how to lay out a one-page RPG run by Jay Isles, she of Legacy, Life in Ruins, and countless other projects. So check that out. All that and more. There'll be a link down below as always. But that's not till the 24th, till the 27th. The game we're playing was arranged through the Hangouts calendar, where there are also similarly hundreds of games going out each month. This is session 2 of our run through Hack the Planet, a climate change cyberpunk game of trying to survive in a world racked by environmental changes as mega corporations try to monopolize our way of living. Written by Fraser Simons, you'll know him better as the designer behind The Veil. This game is forged in the dark, based on the game Blades in the Dark, not on the dark. I don't know how you put blades on the dark. You'd find them in the dark more likely. By John Harper. Links down below where to check that out. Last session, we spent our time creating our crew of airdropping airship piloting thieves, and today we're gonna throw them into the deep end, so to speak. But let's get to know our players and their characters first. I guess I should introduce myself, but the nice thing with streamers is I got my name, so I don't really have to introduce myself. I might as well. My name's Leandro. We'll point my name. Camera here. There we go. There we go. I'm pointing in the right direction. There. My name's Leandro. I use he/him pronouns. I'm the GM. Hi. Let's go the way I see it on my screen, and then go clockwise. So I'll start with Param. Introduce yourself, pronouns, and your character.
Cool. It's great that I'm always the first. I don't know how this application lays us out, but yeah, I'm happy to be the first again. I'm Parham. I use he and him pronouns, and I'm playing the Faint. Right? I am? I think so.
Cool. Faint is an ephemeral operator who schmooges and is good at connections and whatnot. We'll see how Lincoln, or alias Link, does in our score today. Up next, Josh, would like to introduce yourself and your character.
Yeah, of course. I am Josh. I will be playing Dasha Becker, or Nova, who is the Haunt, which is the term used in this game for the hacker, basically like a Decker from Shadowrun. I don't know what they're called in Cyberpunk, but that.
Yeah, there's probably like 5 million terms. I was gonna say, oh, it's probably just hackers, but no, yeah, Deckers, runners, all that stuff for this game. Yeah, it's the Haunt. Up next, we're going clockwise. Alan, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hello, my name is Alan. I use the pronouns he, him, and I'm playing Shadow. That's his alias. His real name is Shadow, as far as everybody else knows, and he is a deadly and stealthy infiltrator with an apparent obsession with the dead.
Apparent, huh? All right, okay.
Well, he spends a lot of time in a kind of bar where you can commune with people who've committed their engrams to hardware.
He sounds like a weirdo. Can't wait to meet him. And last but not the least, Rob, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, I'm Rob. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Colleen Cohen, the Torque. She goes by Mellow or Coco to people that she likes. She is she's the daughter of the tech the tech master from Settlement 33, which was formerly a shopping mall that was in a sort of snowy region, but was wiped out by act of God, and she and the survivors fled to here, to Shelter One. So she is.
Cool. Well, I hope she's doing well in Shelter One. All right. So before we jump into the game itself, I like to remind folks of the safety tools that we're using for today and for the rest of the series. But it's good to get the reminder of them at the start of each session. First off, we got lines and veils. Lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction at all. It's off the table, not going to happen. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on them. Like most of the time, they'll happen off screen, or we'll fast forward over them, and we don't need to get deep into details with those veils. We're also using the X card. Basically, if we do roll into a scene that, that folks feel uncomfortable for any reason, and any reason is particularly fine. Like if there's an event or even a name that folks feel comfortable with, they can say they want to X card that either on the chat or on the video here. Make a X symbol, or on the Roll for Party. There's a table there. There's a button there. I might ask some questions on what details being X carded, but no one gets to question if the card is used. And also, if the card is used, the person using it doesn't have to explain why. If it's used, it's fine. No questions asked beyond what it is we're being X-carded. And then we'll roll back the scene and try something else. And finally, we do have an open door policy. These are for everyone here on the table, including myself. If you need to step away for whatever reason, and it could be an emergency you need to take care of, or you're more tired of your thought, need to back out, or you really need to go because you've drank more than half your coffee before we even started playing. I've made this joke 5 million times in these sessions before. It'll never get old because it's always true, and I never learned my lesson. But if that does happen and you need to go, we'll pause the game and let you sort yourself out. And this can happen anytime. Doesn't matter if maybe we just had our sanction break 10 minutes ago. If you want to go again, we can pause the game. If I don't know, your characters are free falling through the sky and about to smash into a derelict mall and land in some sort of weird indoor mall fun house full of robotics that are still going on and are about to chop you in half. A lot of stuff could happen. But if you need to go in the middle of that, we'll pause. At any moment, it's fine. Folks being comfortable, that's the important part. All right. So as mentioned, we spent last session basically coming up with the crew and our lovely glitches. That's this game's term for those who've hacked their nanites off the grid, so to speak. We have established that they are the comets type, which is, as mentioned, y'all got an airship. Y'all are thieves. You specialize in extractions, specifically. So let's just paint the scene. So as mentioned, Shelter One is like this big mega city built against what we call acts of God, these big climactic weather events that are pounding the world all over. And so it's probably not the nicest place. So I'm kind of imagining, just to introduce each character, I'm imagining it's kind of like a montage of I want a snapshot of each character, what they're doing right before they're called in to say that their contact, Ewa, who has established is a core outsourcer, basically. They parse out jobs. They're kind of your main contact for jobs. I want to know what do we see of each character as they're kind of called as before, what's their daily life look like as they receive the communique that, oh, it has a job for y'all. And if anyone has an idea, feel free to jump in.
I think that we open on Shadow. He's sitting next to the hatch in the top of the airship. The rain is sleeting down. It runs down the slick side of the airship. He's sitting there in his poncho and hood. Water drips off the edge, and he surveys the city that he considers to be his home. And I think he probably considers himself to be a predator in that home.
Nice. I'm basically imagining, like these first shots, kind of like the first episode of this series. We just got, there's a first shot of Shadow. If he were the protagonist, we'd probably hear his brooding monologue. But for now, he's just a silent predator looking down. What has become of this city? That sort of thing.
It always rains.
I think the weather would be the first thing that goes through his head, probably. Which is fine because I live in the Netherlands. I know how it feels like. So yeah.
God. All right, who's next? Who's got an idea of like what we see of their character?
So we see Mellow in the just outside the hull of the ship, maybe I think on a rope, just sort of abseiling on the side of the ship, while with a power torch, just sealing up some tears in the hull.
Like idea, if we were in a more comedic series, like Shadow would be doing the monologue and they'll be interrupted by like in the side where Mellow is. Cool.
And I think with Lincoln, you see him in the what's that faction's name? The one that we have a +1 status with. They are the organization that takes care of the safety of the people in Shelter 1.
Safety.
Oh. Okay.
That's what their
easy.
name is.
I thought so, but then I was like, can't be. But well, turns out it can. So yeah, there is this like gathering where they invited people like with issues that they think need to be raised, and he's just walking around shaking hands. He's not really saying anything like giving a talk or anything weird or like anything like presenting anything. He's just like trying to get a vibe of what is going to happen in the city and where the crew where the crew can jump in before it becomes too late and something is forced upon them, so to speak.
Well, we better hurry and see before something is forced upon him.
Yeah, I think Nova is inside of the unnamed airship. We do need to come up with a name for our airship, for the record. Is in the airship in like a little, I think it was probably a maintenance closet, and it has been transformed into a sort of like a server room. And Nova is inside of there, like jacked into the server, just looking almost like dead. Like her eyes are glossed over because she's just like completely inside of this like electronic mainframe.
Right, jacked in. Cool. All right. I think actually when we see those shots, it starts with Shadow brooding over this city and cuts to like Mellow working repairs, and then it'll cut to, at least in the episode, I think it'll cut to Nova jacked in, and then it'll cut to like, ooh, there's like compartments for our fourth crew member who's not there, and then it'll cut to like, yeah, Lincoln at safety trying to see if there's anything he can do. But I think before he probably spots something like, oh, there's some sort of operation that could be done, but before he could get to it, out of the corner of his eye, you'll see Ewa, your contact, who does like work in safety, and kind of like give you a nod. And I'm imagining Ewa is like, at least here, they look, and say they use they them pronouns if that's all right with folks. They have this like immaculate white suit on, and I think their hair is kind of like done up in like this. It's almost like a pompadour. It's almost like a ridiculous pompadour. And they've got sunglasses on, and they give you a nod, Lincoln, and you'll know that it was a job for you, and you should call your crew.
Uh-oh. How do we actually communicate in this setting? Are there implanted devices? Are there like a network that you jack into? How does that work? Or should we just make it up?
Yeah, you can absolutely make it up. I think it's actually in your character sheets. You have this thing called communications. Basically just says your crew has technology that allows everyone to communicate across distance.
Okay, so let's crowdsource this. What do you guys think we should, like, what do you think, how do you think we communicate? Is this like an implant chip or something that we press? Is there like headsets? Is there like telepathy? I don't know.
If I'm not much mistaken, the setting, the assumption is that glitches strip the nanites that would otherwise make them traceable. So the technology feels like it ought to be internal, not external.
Yeah, it probably has to be internal. It has to be something you all rigged up yourself, or bought off some people. It's up to y'all what you want it to like fictionally be like. It could be like you have like an internal like network, internal network that maybe Nova has just rigged up. We don't have to get too bogged into minutia, but basically like you probably have some sort of like sub vocal units where you can like talk and whisper to each other or something like that.
I suppose that if we strip the nanites out, maybe we're one technological step behind that. So simple earbuds, there's just a bud sits in your ear. We can speak through it and hear ambient noise around somebody using it.
Does everyone else, how does that sound to everyone else?
Well, my character personally has like she has a cybernetic ear, so maybe her earbud is built in.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Dasha actually has hacked nanites instead of her nanites stripped. So I think that is probably linked into the comm system that the others are using. But it is still sort of like freebooting off of the old nanites that she used.
So why didn't you pass that on to everyone else? Is that because you think it's like dangerous to modify someone else's nanites? And I'm just trying to create hooks for us to play off of later. So do you think it's easier for you to play around with your own nanites than other people's, or is there like another reason?
Well, mechanically, it's because there are several abilities for the Haunt that deal with customized nanites.
Yeah.
I think it's the sort of thing where the nanites are probably are very like personally machined, and it's the sort of thing where stripping someone's nanites is easy enough to do, but in order to reprogram nanites, it is you need like actual full DNA samples, and it's just a very consuming process.
Yeah. It probably it's much easier to teach the person to do it if they're interested rather than do it for them.
Yeah.
From the outside. Okay, that makes
I
sense.
mean, Shadow wanted that shit out of him, and no one is putting any back in.
See, like the
Okay.
idea that everyone has their own ways to communicate to each other, but they all have like a internal network.
The network, yeah. And I think for Lincoln, it's just that he had this idea that you never know when corporations come up with a way to program your stuff back to, or like override stuff, and it's great if you know how to deal with that stuff and reprogram or override and stuff like that. But for him, which it's not his job, he will just mess up and give away everyone, because technically if someone were to find this out, they would just be able to listen into our conversation, right? Okay, so wait, what's their name? Ava, what was that again? Awa. Okay, so you all hear me like in a commotion of sounds of mingling people and like glasses and like footsteps and stuff like that, and like I'm like trying to be kind of quiet, so half of it comes through, half of it you have to guess. And then like hey everyone, I've got Awa here, and I think you need to come over. Looks like they want to tell us something, and I want us all to be here to talk to them instead of just me going in and saying something nonsense.
I think Ewa kind of like raises up a finger, and you know that what they mean is that like that's your prearranged signal to say that they want to meet at your usual spot, which is a restaurant that they buy dinner for basically all of you.
Yay! Free food. That's what I say.
You hear a string of curse words. Oh,
Of course. Yeah, so we'll just cut to let's see. I think Ewa would take you to somewhere very nice.
Oh, I was banking on a noodle stand.
Oh, actually, no. Actually, it wouldn't be. It would be very noticeable if they took the four of you to somewhere very nice. So yes, I think it is absolutely a noodle stand. Well, so we cut from the gleaming corporate halls of safety to shite street. Well, not shite. What a word to use. No, it's rather dingy, yeah. And you'll see, we'll probably cut to like the four of you gathered around this noodle bar. Like just cups
Genetically modified noodles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like so they're actually like smaller, but the noodle bar guy swears it has more like stuff in it, even though you have less than what you usually have, like 10 years ago. And it was standing there. They've got like a big coat on now, and they're holding a thermos. And they didn't buy anything from the noodle bar, for sure. There's probably just like an awning in front. There are no seats. It's just like you just stop by this noodle bar and get your noodles and trek off. And then there's a moment where like still wearing the sunglasses, still has the pompadour, nods to the noodle bar guy, and he's just like starts abruptly like whistling and going to the back. And then it turns to the four of you and says, "Interested in 8 jewels?"
Well, that's certainly a way to get people's attention.
Well, I thought I'd start with the reward, since that as you said there, Link, that would get people's attention. And they reach into their coat and pull out like one of those like tablets you see the military use, lots of like padding. It's like like you can dribble it. That kind of tablet. And and you'll see, and they press a few buttons, and then they'll show it to the four of you, and you see there's a picture of this like late 20ish, looked like early 30ish, like Indian woman, and it was says, "This is Irene Navuluri. She's someone that safety is very interested in at the moment. She's a gene hacker that used to work for Nourish, but recently dropped off the map. And apparently safety is concerned about what she's been working on. So they need her back. Doesn't sound too bad for 8 jewels, yes?
Sounds too good for 8 jewels.
Well, the reward is to compensate you for where you're going.
Where are we going?
Well, as far as we know, Irene Navalu is holed up in some derelict. It's a derelict lab, and they press a few buttons, and Irene's face dissolves, and it's like a map of Shelter 1, and actually no, it's a map of like the Badlands out to Shelter 1, and you can see there it's like a string of like what looks like failed suburbs. Some of it like there's this sunken into the water, some of it just like ruined, and you can see that there is this collection of, it looks weird, it looks like a collection of houses that are like built on top of each other, almost jutting out to the sky. It's not the biggest, like 6 stories high, but it looks like just lashed together. And they say like, as far as we could tell, Irene's holed up here pretty tight. This place used to be a checkpoint for some mercenaries. They've been rooted out recently, but as far as we know, Irene and, well, some folks that Irene may or may not be working with have come in and turned this place into a fortress.
We'll see Shadow looking at the screen, and there's kind of eye blink, as he just photographs the screen, her picture, the locale, anything she shows us. He's storing for pattern recognition later.
Nice. And I think it was kind of like, I'll send some more information packets your way, but that's only if you accept. I think they look at Lincoln because they know Lincoln's the spokesperson for them.
And Lincoln looks around at everyone. I think he just tilts his head at Shadow because Shadow is the least talkative. He just like uses body language, as I imagine. Shadow is like, like nod, shake of the head, wave, not even like finger waves, probably, right? Is that the correct understanding of how Shadow communicates?
Alan's nodding.
Alan, are you nodding? In real life, I can't
nodding.
see you, so don't nod.
Yeah, I'll try to remember.
He just looks at Shadow to see his reaction first, because like he's very body languagey. So what does he do?
Oh, I think that that probably Shadow will nod, get up, and say, "I'll be back at the airship in an hour."
Okay, and what about the rest of you? Does anyone object How do you react to like an inquiring gaze of what do you guys think?
I guess I'd better get that bulkhead nailed down sooner. Excuse me. Head back to the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, Nova,
very very social group. I like this.
Nova nods. You know, it's not in good form to fraternize with the corporations, even if we are on good terms. You know.
Great. Then I guess that's a yes or what? A what? Ah.
Okay, Ewa just smiles and says, "Well, I expect results soon then," and kind of like gives you gives you like a tap on the shoulder, Blinken. Not a tap, but more like yeah, good luck, sort of thing. All right, so we are switching.
Patronizing pat of the corporation.
Oh yeah. It's like well, not on the head. No, they don't get like patting in the head. But they definitely pat you on the shoulder. All right, so we're going to the phase kind of like pre-engaging before the engagement die and whatnot. So we're gonna I'm gonna ask like what do y'all do to like prepare for this score. So this is basically this is like the phase where you might want to gather information. And how this is gonna work is like you're gonna tell me like what each character is doing to like get info on this score. Like like are they like consorting, networking with folks to find out what's there, or are they like digging up records, or I don't know, hacking into satellites to get more info in this place? And what will that do is that'll determine basically what plan you're going for and the detail for the plan. For depending on there are some abilities that you could have taken in crew when we were making a crew to like get a +1D depending on the plan you pick. But for now, what the plan you pick in the detail will be like narrative flavoring for how you're gonna pull off this score. So I'll run down again what you've been asked to do. You've been asked to extract Irene Navaluri from this like seemingly derelict but apparently quite mighty sort of fortress jumble collection of houses that's like way out into the Badlands outside of Shelter 1. What you've been told is that she is a former gene hack. Well, she's a gene hacker, formerly worked for Nourish, but has gone rogue. Apparently, she's brilliant beyond her years, and her being out there would be dangerous. And you've been asked to extract her. Oh, so right now, yeah, you're not meant to kill her. You're meant to get her out. So.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that Shadow walked away from the noodle stand is because he needs to put his ear to the ground and find out what we know about Irene. And I'm thinking trace a target, gather information about its location and movements.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So what is going to be? This is going to be a fortune roll. So what it is like there's no, there's no positioning or effect. This is just going to be straight 2d6 because you have 2 action dots in trace, and we'll see how much you get depending on what the highest die is.
That's a pair of 3s.
Okay, so you're gonna get incomplete or partial information. So yeah, so frame it to me exactly. How is Shadow like doing this trace?
Well, I think it's about going to her records and what the city knows about her records. I see his trace as being more human intelligence and then kind of supplemented by the pattern recognition software that's running in his head. So yeah, it's what did we know about her when she lived in the city? What were her behaviors? Does she like clothes or food? Is it all about work? What about her partners? It's that kind of stuff that he's looking for.
Cool. I think you'll actually get a lot of like trivia about her. So for one thing, you know that she likes to drink quite a bit. She's got a running alcohol tab in a lot of bars. You know that she's got a divorce. She left this woman. Whose name is Willow. You know that. But the thing you'll notice is that a lot of her records are like redacted. A lot of it is just like black lined. And you see like, redacted by Nourish or by Safety, I think, because Safety is all about well-being and whatnot. So I think what Shadow's going to get is that like Irene worked on big stuff that Safety doesn't want to get out. So the rest of like her, you probably get like stuff like the kind of stuff she likes to buy. She likes to buy antique books, and you'll notice that like she could afford to buy antique books. But that's the most you'll get. Like she's quite important. She likes to drink. She had a divorce. She likes to buy books. I would say, to emphasize, the fact that Safety is redacting a lot of info on her means that like a lot of people will probably be interested in her. I think that's the main thing you'll get. I won't tell you like who's interested in her, but like that she's a person of interest. All right. Well, cool. Thank you. What else are folks like gathering info on?
Maybe find out more about the region that they're in, just to make sure that what the hazards are, what who might be out there, that sort of thing.
Cool. How are you doing that, Mellow? Like, what would Mellow do to like find that out?
I think you should just ask around.
Okay. Is there any specific person you ask, or just asking around?
Just I don't know.
Like, asking around is perfectly fine if you want to just do that.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that is a network. And since you don't have any points in networks, what you're gonna do is like roll 2 and take the lowest.
I don't
Unless you want to push yourself right now. But this is just a fortune roll. Or actually, this may be an action roll because we've established that Irene is like, it would be important to some folks. So maybe you making noise to like figure stuff out about her might be people might notice that.
Where's
so this might be an action
party?
Oh, I'll link it in the chat. It's in the Lines and Veils tab in the character keyboard. I'll link it in the chat again. A lamprey that's just moved recently. Or is moving recently. Not moved, not like the lamprey is uprooted from where they lived. Anyway.
Okay, so it's 2d6.
Yeah. And you'll take the lowest, unless you want to like...
So are you rolling network? What are you rolling?
See, it's not really Mellow's sort of thing to do, but yeah, I'll roll for it anyway.
I mean, you could like maybe you could like survey the place. You can access like some GPS satellites to be like what the place is, unless you want to like ask people around about the place.
Yeah, if it's survey, we could totally like take the ship there. Or I'm not sure. Would that be detected? Would that be raising heat or?
That would be like going into the store. This is like we're
Okay. So like going on a mission to figure out what's going on is the mission. It starts the mission if that okay.
I mean, if you want to like frame it like that, that's fine, but that'll be an action roll then because you'll be noticed.
Yeah,
so there
yeah,
will be like positioning and effect.
yeah. Okay, makes sense.
But it's up to Mellow on what they want to do. So are you networking then, or
Yeah, I could maybe survey a location.
Ooh, how are you doing that?
Maybe like just sort of. I don't know if the airship has like maybe a shuttle or something that we could.
No, I think you have to get that. No, I don't. I don't think you have a shuttle for that. I think you have to buy a shuttle.
Okay. No, I guess I'll just have to go with network then.
It's fine. We're rich. We're gonna have 8 jewels.
If you do this, if you get this done, yeah, sure, you'll get 8 jewels.
This is like where you start spending like rich people so that you become rich. This is how it goes.
It's fine. I rolled 2 6s, so
Okay, all right, okay. So that's fine. That's fine. I think since you networked and we're still starting off this, though, that's a fortune roll. But yeah, 2 6s is very good. So you're gonna. So remind me again. What were you trying to play on about the area?
yeah, find out about the area, what the hazards are, who the inhabitants nearby might be.
Okay, cool. So what you notice about the area is like it's not as far from Shelter One as probably like you'd expect. It's not like where the Forged live. So like the Forge have like communities, they've got places. Well, this is just like the truest things that were cut off when place was cut off when Shelter One was built. What you'll know when you talk about what you're talking is that like the place that Irene is holed up in is that that what you heard is like scuttlebutt that the group known as the Split Peas uses that place as like a major genetics laboratory. For those who don't know, Split Peas are gene hack engineers and farmers. They sell produce made under the nose of corporations. This is kind of like one of their big like laboratory places. So it looks and what you'd get as well is that like it's not their major one, but it is one of their major ones, and that's where Irene is at the moment. Because you got 2 6s, I'll give you this one for free as well. You'll know as well that like the Split Peas apparently only moved in there quite recently. They set up shop there only like in the last 2 or 3 weeks or so, but they've had to fight off a group known as the Scrappers, which y'all are familiar with them. You have a -2 with them at the moment, so that's fine. And what you hear is that there are rumors that the Scrappers are going to be moving against the Split Peas very soon.
Okay.
So y'all need to get a move on. All right, what about the other 2? What do Nova or Link do to like gather info?
I'm mostly waiting to see what Nova does so that I can gather information on stuff that we might be missing. Because
Yeah.
like I don't know, Nova, is that even possible to like, I don't know, like hack into the whole camera system of the security?
That is a good question, actually. Yeah, what I think Nova is going to try and find out what sort of technological interfacing there is in that abandoned lab that she's holed up in.
Cool. All right. Yeah. That's totally a hack. Yeah. Frame it to me fictionally. What is Nova doing to figure that out?
So Nova is probably diving into whatever the internet is in this setting, looking through like municipal records. I mean, in order to build something in this cyberpunk sci-fi world, I assume you need to get like a permit. It seems like the kind of world that would be big on permits. So I'm willing to bet that if I snoop through some, corporate databases, I might be able to find a planning document or two.
Ooh, hell yeah! All right, so that sounds like a hack. And again, this is all fortune stuff. I don't want to start inflicting stress and complications, y'all, at the start. Especially since you're a tier 0 crew. It's not complicated life easy. So hack. That's 2 dice.
All right.
So while Nova is rolling, one question: how does the internet or whatever the thing is in this setting? How does that work? Is that like a physical thing that like you explore in like a virtual reality thing, or is that more like I don't know? How does it work? Is there like what is established in the setting? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'll ask our hunt that since they're the hacker. And they can
Okay. Okay.
And I can defer. Yeah.
Again, a wonderful question. I think that probably we're gonna say that this is not a world with like a huge like you enter the virtual reality and like that's how you interface with all internet. But I think that I'm willing to say that like regular internet is similar to how it is now. But when it comes to like hardware stuff and stuff that exists on internal servers, it does start to enter like a more virtual reality zone where you enter the computer and then you are able to interact with it on a more like microscopic level.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So what did you get with your roll?
I got a 4.
Hell yeah. All right. So you're looking for like, the planning permits, the details of this weird higgledy-piggledy building. And with a 4, you're gonna get good details. So I think what you find is that the project that this derelict lab started out of was gonna be like a waypoint slash it's kind of like a it was going to be a forward operating base for so for one of the corporations. Let me double check which one. Probably for Nourish. It was going to be like they're going to go out here and establish like a base in these ruins so that they can range further to find out, okay, is there any more like land that we can like recultivate or whatnot. But their efforts were stymied because an act of God hit. A gigantic hurricane just smashed into the ground, into the place. Hence why a lot of like the suburban area under is submerged and whatnot. So they've abandoned it. But so there are some like you can see in the planning details. They were gonna do stuff. There were some. I think for your crew, most permanently, what you see is like in the planning stuff, and you can see it in the schematics of the building. There are some open chimneys, jutting out to the sky, and what you see from the planning is that some, not all of those chimneys were finished, and by finished I mean there's probably not going to be a furnace waiting at the end of some of them. Just saying. So that's kind of like one of the details you get. Other than sadly there's no underground way to get in because most of the There might be a disposal sewer sort of um, facility at the bottom, but it'll be hard to get in there because it's a bit waterlogged at the moment. So that's kind of what you get looking into their planning, into the planning of this building.
All right. Good to know.
Cool. And last but not the least, Link.
Yeah, so I guess based on what we know so far, the most useful thing that I could ask around, is what's going. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the building. Like, is there any security? Are they just sitting around? Do they only use this for producing stuff? Like, is this like a lab that just one single person works in? And I guess I'm going to go to Louise for that because they're flickers. I wonder if flickers know anything about this and on a network.
Cool. All right. So yeah, just roll that, and then we'll establish what Luis looks like and how you meet up. So that's
Okay.
2d6, 2 dice.
2d6. I take the highest, right?
Yes.
I got a 6 and a 3.
Nice. All right. So 6. Yeah, you get great detail. Where do you usually meet Luis?
I guess we meet at let's say like there. I'm gonna say that we are like friends since childhood. So like we kind of went to the same school, and then started to hang out from that point. And then there's this place which we used to go to since we were like much younger, that gives like snacks and coffee, and usually like school kids go there. Lots of noise, lots of screaming. School children spending their parents' money on stuff. So like we just go there usually for like nostalgic moments, but also like sometimes we use that sound to mask the fact that we're talking about stuff that shouldn't be heard, and like that's just natural noise that is useful sometimes.
I think his usual greeting is just basically like, still working for those corpos.
Well, at least for the good ones. How's it going for you?
Good ones, you say, huh? Well, I'd say that's a good one. Link, things are doing fine. I mean, I don't know about you, but do your corporations hand out, jackets like these? And he flings up his lapel. He's trying to look cool.
Yes, I was wondering, speaking of corpse, there's this girl called Irene. Let me look that up. Irene, what?
Oh, you're looking for Irene Navaluri as well, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah, I wonder if like, do you know any of the people like having visited there? What do they know? So we're basically trying to figure out what she's doing and probably, I don't know, get her out.
Well, whatever they're doing in there, and this is the scuttlebutt, and you didn't hear this from me, even though it's probably very clear once you tell people. But don't tell people, we're friends, right, Link? Anyway, scuttlebutt here, from what I've heard, is whatever they're working in there, they can't just move it to another facility. Or at least that's what I heard is being insisted. It could just be that Irene is very protective of what she's working on and refusing to move. But whatever she's saying, apparently she's got clout with the split piece. So they're staying still there. They're beefing up security. They're not just sitting around. They're expecting a war to hit them anytime soon. So And whatever Irene's working on, apparently it has something to do with crop yields. Sounds boring, but it's got a lot of people really interested.
I
Something
mean,
to
is
do.
that more food?
Well, from what I heard, what she's working on, well, it might just do the opposite.
Oh, crap. Okay, told you. Hopefully, we can get her out before it it gets to a point where we can't do anything about that. But thanks a lot, Luis. It was really helpful to actually talk to you again, as always. But anyway, what's been going on like with you guys there? And I guess fade out.
Yeah, I think the last thing you hear is Louis saying, "Well, if you want to know what we're doing, we might have a thing or two that your folks, and I'm not your corpo folks, but your quite frankly, your very moody colleagues. We might have some stuff that y'all might be interested in.
Oh yeah, kind of antisocial. They're fine.
I'm sure they get the job done. But I mean, come on, don't you get lonely? Think having to talk to
That's
them.
why I have to you. What? That's why I talk to you sometimes.
So why don't you hang out with me? Why do you hang out in the sky then? And we'll fade away as this argument gets going. All right. You know what? We've been here for like an hour. Let's take a 5-minute break and then actually let's take 5 minutes and then we'll come back and explain engagement and we'll get this score rolling. So we'll be back in 5.
All right.
Okay. What's a Dumbo octopus?
No idea.
It's telling me that anonymous Dumbo octopus is on sheet. I don't know, one of them.
Oh, that's just the
Yep.
naming for the users when
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
anonymous.
But the thing is, where did that come from? Like, Dumbo?
Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Grimpotatis is a genus of pelagic umbrella octopus.
Okay, great.
Okay, all right. The name Dumbo
It
comes.
exists.
Yes,
So
yes,
it is
exists.
real. Okay.
Apparently, the name comes from because it looks like Dumbo from Disney's 1941 film Dumbo. It's an elephant with big ears.
Ah.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay. It has some. Okay, all right. Okay, it has some fairly prominent ears, I guess.
Okay. It's just ears.
Yeah,
Like-
ears on the octopus.
Ah, okay.
Okay, it's got a bit of a nose as well. Ugh, crazy looking octopi. All right, I'm gonna stop looking at this.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah, thanks very much, Google. I mean,
Yeah,
the next to it is like just an anonymous bat, an anonymous sheep, an anonymous capybara. Okay, I guess that's
What's a
weird.
capybara?
The world's largest rodent.
Ah, okay.
It is pretty big. It's like it can go up to like your knee.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
One freaky rodent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. And, oh, wow. Capybaras have this like look of disdain on them. Jesus.
Does that beat the look of disdain on the cat's face?
Kind of, because at least with a cat, you can imagine them smile and whatnot. I can't. I'm looking at this capybara. It looks fierce. It looks like it can't ever smile. Anyway,
Like
everyone-
Shadow.
yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Can Shadow smile? I'm sure he probably can. It's just, does he smile?
We just haven't seen him smile.
That is true. All right. Just take a sip.
Or Mellow. I mean, the name says it all.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. No, that's right. I think everyone's back. Yeah, I think everyone's back.
Is
I saw
everyone
Rob on mute there. Oh, yeah. All right. So, time for engagement. I'll just read from the book here. The crew spends time planning each score. They huddle around ancient fluorescent lighting in their base, looking at scans of smuggled out corporate plans, whispering plots and schemes, bickering about the best approach, and lamenting the dangers ahead. However, the players don't have to do this kind of nitty-gritty planning because it'll be boring. It'll take us 2.5 hours to do that, so we don't have to do any of that stuff. The characters take care of that off screen. So you, the players, all you have to do is choose what type of plan the characters have already made. No need to sweat out the little details because the engagement role will take care of that. No plan is ever perfect. You can't account for everything. You just have to make the best out of it. So there's 6 types of plans, and I'll lay it out for y'all here. There's assault, do violence to a target, and the detail you need. Actually, I should mention this. When the players choose a plan, you provide the missing detail, like the point of attack, social connection, etc., etc. So for assault, the detail will be the point of attack, where y'all, I guess, bum rushing into. That's a bad sentence to say. The next kind of plan is deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. The detail will be the method of deception. There's stealth, trespass unseen. The detail will be the point of infiltration. Act of God, engage in natural phenomena. The detail will be the specialized tech used. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. The detail will be the social connection. And transport, carry cargo or people through danger. The detail will be the route and the means. So the point of all that gather info is so that you can figure out the detail to whatever plan you pick. So yeah, I'll leave it up to you. Which of these plans you think fits what you want to do?
I guess stealth, right?
That would certainly go with Shadow's view.
Yay. And what about Mellow and Nova?
Stealth seems like a logical way of entry, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, if they're waiting for scrappers to attack, which is like a whole tier, like a whole 3 tiers above us, I guess. Like I think they're tier 2 or 3. They're probably going to like wait at the door and demolish us if we go on guns blazing.
Yeah, I think maybe use that as cover for infiltration, maybe like the expected attack.
Ooh.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last of what you said. The what?
Use the expected attack as cover for infiltration.
So like somehow trick them into all pouring their resources into like the defenses on the front door, and then just go in. Okay, how can we trick them?
Hmm.
Or is that something that we should discuss here? Or
No, we don't need to. All you need is you pick stealth. You just need the point of infiltration. Oh, go on. Sorry, Alan.
I just point of infiltration. Now we know that there are stacks coming out of the top of this group of buildings. We know some of them may or may not be active.
we know also this waterlogged disposal area underneath, which is hard to get through.
Yeah, well, I assumed we'd come from above because that's
Yeah,
our
with the
unique
airship.
selling point.
Yeah.
So what I suppose I'm wondering is whether, and I suppose the engagement roll would tell us whether we pick the right stack.
Oh yeah, that's what the engagement roll is for.
Okay.
Because I've just been skimming our skill sets, and I think that there's a decent chance that Shadow and Dasher can get in using Ghost. I think there's a reasonable chance that if we dropped Mellow on the building to time that kind of explosive distraction, and then that leaves Link to Overwatch.
Yeah, and I think Link can hopefully use the finesse. I'm not sure if Link's finesse is the highest finesse, but like to drive and drop people off at the right points and then watch from above and jump in when things go south, like figuratively.
Yeah. I think those are good details. I think hold on to those and we'll see how the engagement roll goes. Because what the engagement is going to determine is what position you are going to be in when it starts. But definitely, like when we roll and I ask, like, okay, where's each person? What were each person planning? It sounds like there's going to be multiple points of attack. We're not using assault, but we're using stealth. But it sounds like everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So now we determine the detail on the plan. We're gonna pick out your load. Load indicates how much stuff you're carrying on the score. So you don't have to select individual items, just the maximum amount to have access to. So for farm's sake, the loads that you can go 3, which is light, 5, which is normal, and 6, which is heavy.
Are there any particular advantages of light versus normal in terms of bonuses for X, Y, and Z?
With light, it just means that I have less fictional there's less fictional consequences for going normal. With light, you'll be able to escape easier or attack easier. You when you're say you're infiltrating, I can't use the fact that you have normal out to slow you down or whatnot. With light, it'll be easier for you, and that will be reflect on the effect as well.
And what's your view, Leandro, mechanically of dropping stuff? So going in normal and coming out light.
You'll get all your items back after each score anyway. So
you don't have a problem with going in normal, and then if it gets hot, just dump two units of stuff in order to be light.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect fine with me. You just choose what stuff you have to dump. Cool. So everyone chooses their load.
I'm going to go normal.
Cool.
Yes, me too.
Normal.
What about you, Lincoln?
I'm trying to find the descriptions of. Let's not make this difficult. I'll just go for normal.
Okay. All right. Now that you've chosen plan, detail loaded up, we're gonna cut to the action. So, so you pile onto your airship, which into your name. There's some suggestions in the chat, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, fly out of Shelter 1. You're probably like in the cloud area. I'm imagining this is like a overcast sort of gray day because I can't ever imagine this place ever being sunny. Excuse me. And yeah, as you're gonna go through the clouds, you're flying over like ruined suburbia, like places that like Shelter 1 has just cut off and has been battered heavily by acts of God. So far, doesn't seem like there's anything in the wind at the moment. But I think you'll see in the scanners, you'll see it stands out quite incongruously from the rest of the land, and it's kind of like standing in the middle of what looks like almost like a makeshift moat. It's like this flooded area, this like 6 to 7 story tiled pile jumble of like black rivets and concrete and what looks like, just houses stacked on each other and then pipe and threaded through to bring it all together. It looks messy. It's like, it's like an industrial revolution obsessed designer's idea of a 6-story building. That makes no sense. I'm sorry as a description, but all right, you're gonna counter your first. Okay, so now we're gonna go to engagement roll to determine what the action looks like. So here's how we go build the roll. I'm gonna start with 1d for sheer luck, and then we'll go to the major advantages and disadvantages and see if we add some more. Is this operation particularly bold or daring?
It involves jumping out of an airship.
Oh yeah.
And also, bro, I think going against a faction that is bigger than us, right?
Yes. Both the Scrappers and the Split Peas are bigger than y'all. Honestly, most factions are bigger than y'all.
Anything is bigger than us.
Yeah. So yeah, 1D. Is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? You're jumping in, grabbing her, and getting out. Doesn't seem that hard or that complicated.
No.
So you don't lose 1 die. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Well, they should have probably.
We're entering through the vents, right? Or the chimneys.
Yeah, they probably should have covered them up, but they didn't. So yeah, I'll give you 1 die for that. Is the target strongest against your approach? We established no, so you don't lose 1 die. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Well, they did.
They did.
So I'll give you another die. Wow, you're at 4 dice. 4
Yay.
dice. Amazing. And we're still going through this. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? The Scrappers. So that's minus 1 die.
Can I make the case that actually Scrappers are not interfering with Scrappers?
Oh, that's true.
The threat of the Scrappers is actually to our advantage.
That is true. All right, I won't take away the tie then. I will take it away because you're taking on a higher tier target. The Split Peas are tier 3. You'll get more rep when you complete this, when you finish the score. But that means you're content with a tier 3. So I will take away 1 die. You're still at 3. You're still at 3. And
so who's gonna do the honors and roll?
Well, actually, I have a suggestion for getting back that die. We're doing an extraction, which is our favored operation.
Hell yes. I was actually scrolling up to double check that. Double check. Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. I'll let you have that. It's a bit different from within the book, but just to be nice for the first score, I'll let you have that. What actually happens, I should have given you plus 1D when you gather info. When you gathered info, that's what dealing with extraction operations meant. But c'est la vie. We're here now. Well, just because I forget that, I'll give you the 1 die for here, just to be nice. So that's 4d6. Who wants to do the honors?
No,
Overwatch.
Overwatch. I'll just use my loaded dice roller so that we get a crit. I mean, with 4, we might actually get a crit. Let's see. Oh, 4d6, and the result of that is 4, 5, 4, 4. How can I roll so badly with 4 dice?
No, 4-5 is good. It's a mixed result. You're in a risky position when the action starts. So it's not the worst.
Yeah, like 4 3s would be worse. Yeah.
No, yeah, 4-3, yeah. You don't want to get 1-3 is the bad one. You don't want that. 4-5 is mixed, and all right. So just to get this straight, 3 people are jumping out of the airship, and Lincoln is providing Overwatch. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Mellow is trying to set up. Mellow, are you setting up explosives, or how are you distracting people?
yeah, I'm setting up an explosive to draw people away. You know, make them think that they're under attack.
Ooh, okay, all right. So we'll say, like, as the 3 of you leap off the airship, Nova and Shadow are aiming towards. Yeah, I think you program. All right, this chimney is open. Or are you going into the same chimney, or no? Let's keep you 2 together. Let's.
I think that the intent is whether you split us is a different question.
Okay. Here's kind of what's gonna happen. Oh, let me think this through. Because like everyone has to be like kind of in a risky position. Oh, okay. I know what puts everyone in a risky position. As Shadow and Nova is aiming towards the chimney, and we'll say that like you're getting close to like getting into it, and Mellow is probably landing away from the action to set up explosives, start things off. You notice when you came here, there's no signs of like scrappers making their way yet, so it looks like fine. But then, as the 2 of you in the air, actually all 4 of you will feel this. You feel suddenly the wind starts to pick up, and suddenly your airship kind of like shudders as like this gigantic gust of wind has blown in, and yeah, the act of God is coming. I think you're getting like just the edges of it, and I think for now the airship's gonna be fine. I think Lincoln, you're gonna be rocked by like just the sudden burst of it. But for our 3 high flyers, yeah, let's cut to like Shadow and and Nova first. How y'all feeling?
So I think that I was thinking about using wings, but I think because we need to get back, we have to be on ropes. So I think the nylon, microfilament, we're running down. It seems like we're falling free fall, but there's a tiny little kind of widget on the monofilament that just slows us. And we're aiming for one of these chimneys. Shadow wants to make a 3-point superhero landing.
Cool. Oh, I should mention as
What's
well.
a 3-point superhero? Oh yeah, mention what you were going to mention.
I was gonna mention like because we didn't go to the nitty-gritty of planning. Whenever you think you had an idea that we had planned this out, that's what flashbacks are for. I should remind folks that flashbacks are here just in case we like we had prepared for an act of God, that sort of thing. And you'll tell me what the flashback is, and I'll say what the stress cost is, given depending on how convoluted the flashback would be. It only goes up to 2, so the highest stress you can incur in a flashback is 2. And it could, and you can't negate what's happening, but you can say you prepared for it. Like say if you fail the roll to like for a guard to like hide from a guard, and the guard finds you. You can say, but I had paid off this guard a week ago. That's the kind of flashback you can have. Just as a reminder for folks. But okay, what you're doing sounds like what Shadow's doing right now sounds like a group action, because it's going to be you and Nova trying to get to this chimney. So group actions, basically someone's going to take a lead, and both of you are going to roll the same action rating, and we'll take the highest out of any of you two, and then that will account for this is how we do. Everyone sneaks into the same place, so we don't have to like roll for like, okay, you do well, but you do bad, you do bad, you do bad, that sort of thing. So yeah, this is what it sounds like for just the two of you.
So just so I'm mechanically clear, I have Ghost 3, Nova has Ghost 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do I? Yes, I do have Ghost 2.
Yeah.
So somebody's rolling 2 dice or 3.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
if we're doing a group action,
so both of you are gonna roll.
Yeah.
Nova's gonna roll 2, and you're gonna roll 3, and
I
we'll
see.
take the highest out of any one of those. But let me set the positioning first. So you're trying to ghost. You're still trying to go unseen. The problem is like it's quite windy. It's windy and harsh, so it's gonna be tougher. The struggle is to get into the chimney. Your positioning is your position is still risky, but I think the effect is gonna be a bit limited because you're trying to skydive down the chimney through not gale force winds, but they're picking up. So
Can I
risky limited.
Would you
mechanically
accept?
again,
Sorry, say that again, Alan.
mechanically again, I have a special ability called Infiltrator. You are not affected by quality or tier when you bypass security measures. That wouldn't apply in this circumstance.
Ooh, no, wind is not a security measure unless they have like a wind farm. No, this is an act of nature. This is for like, you have to pick a lock, and this would make sense if this would make sense when you pick a lock and it's a tier 3 and you'll be fine. So yeah, so it's so risky limited. Are any of you going for extra dice? Oh, go on.
I
Josh.
would propose that if this is a group action, that we
Mhm.
shift it to desperate standard.
Okay.
Get in there good. I think that we are pretty well equipped to deal with this, hopefully. Knock on wood.
Okay.
Sorry, could you explain the mechanics of positioning and what's the other one? Effect once again, because I forgot. Somehow
Okay. So
Yeah.
positioning determines how bad things get if you get a complication. So if it's controlled, you'll be fine. You can circle back and try again. Risky, things could go bad. Desperate, things could go really bad.
Okay.
Effect determines, how effective your move's going to be. So there's great, you'll do really well. There's standard, you do fine. And limited, which is you'll do okay. This is like to determine stuff like how many segments of a clock you fill in. That's
okay. So like for positioning, it's mostly useful when you get 1 to 5 on your dice roll. Effect would be what happens when you get a 6, or like what happens the good side of the 4 and 5.
Yeah, that will be the case. Yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
I'll accept Nova's reasoning of doing a desperate standard because you'd want this seems like it. If you move it up a bit from risky limited to desperate standard, I'll be nice. All right. So what are you gonna? Let me look up group action. There's one thing I'm missing. Always one thing I'm missing with group action. So both the two of you are gonna roll your ghost, and this is gonna determine how stealthy y'all are. And I assume Shadow is taking the lead because you're the one who described what y'all are doing.
Okay.
And Shadow is going to mark stress if Nova doesn't roll well, right?
Yes. Basically, let me double check. I always this specific part of group action I always forget because
Yeah, because I'm also not sure if this is a band of blades thing or if it's a blades in the dark thing.
Oh no! It's a blades in the dark thing for sure. Group action has been around for a while. Yeah. When you need a group action, no, that's not it. That's not it. Sorry. I just I completely forgot. There's a moment where you might get stressed. Oh, the character a shadow who's shadow. Who leading group action. You're gonna take 1 stress for each PC that rolled 1 to 3 as their best result. Since there's only 2 of you, it's probably gonna be fine. So yeah.
Okay. So taking 3 dice and reroll the selected.
Good luck.
Hang on. Something strange is happening.
Oh no.
Sorry, they just unselected.
Oh, that's probably because the both of you are trying to select dice at the same time.
Okay. So, okay, Josh, if you steer clear, that should leave it for me.
All right.
Okay, that's a 6, a 5, and a 1.
Okay, cool.
And that's a 4 for me. So we.
All right.
Weird.
We're going to take the highest, which is a 6, which is a success. And you rolled on desperate, so each of you mark XP on your prowess track. Whenever you roll an action rating on a desperate, you're going to get an XP on that attribute. All right. So, since you got a 6 on desperate, you'll do it. And so, yeah. Describe to me the 2 of you. I'll start with Shadow, how you just buffet through these winds to get into the chimney.
Well, I think because the microfilament is quite light, there is a possibility of us just being swung out over this. But to get round that, we're both equipped with wings under our arms. So while attached to the rope, we can actually get some control. So I think that this way I get to abseil and have wings, and I guess at the last minute we release from the rope and plummet down the inside of the shaft, coming to a gentle kind of braking using the wings, braking just before we impact at the bottom.
Nice. And I'm assuming somehow, very miraculously, Nova managed to do the same thing, almost copying you move by move. No, I'm not going to assume that for Nova.
And is this what this 3-point superhero landing looks like?
Indeed, yes. So on the fist down.
Yeah. And where the two of you land, because you got success at Ghost. Well, you didn't land on a furnace, thankfully. In fact, but you land into a fairly kind of cavernous. No, not fairly cavernous, more like it's a tall, rectangular sort of room, but it seems derelict for a moment. So it's quite dark, and there's a lot of construction equipment and material that's kind of just left behind. There's actually even you can see there's holes poking out on the wall to your right, and you can see the wind is picking up as the act of God is coming. But for the moment, the 2 of you are in fairly clean. No one's noticed so far. Let's cut to Mellow. Mellow, I'm not gonna make you roll for. Actually, no, I might as well since I made them roll. But actually, where are you headed off? Where are you landing, Mellow?
I think opposite side of the facility to set up the charge.
All right. Actually, you know what? I think because I made them roll, I'm gonna make you roll as well. Sorry. Are you landing on the facility or into another chimney?
Can I
on the facility?
Oh, okay.
Can I just, because if you're going to make Mellow roll with Ghost, that may not be to Mellow's advantage. Just saying.
Well, the thing with not having
players-
dots, you can still get dice. Even if you don't have any dots, you just have to push yourself or accept a ripple. Ripple is a devil's bargain, basically. I can give you a die But there's going to be a complication either way. So there are ways to get dice even if you don't have any dots without having to roll 2 and take the lowest. Like stress is there, But I think, well, actually, what are you rolling with, Mellow? So you can land exactly where you need to land.
No. Okay. Whew. Could I have used modify maybe, and to put some sort of maneuvering jets in?
But do you have maneuvering jets? Oh, do you want? We can flashback this to saying you have maneuvering jets.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, tell me what this flashback looks like. Saying you got maneuvering jets, that you made this, you've hacked up maneuvering jets. Is it just like you in a workbench?
Yeah, it's me at in the workshop, just working on the tactical, the armor that we wear when we're dropping in.
Cool. So okay. Yeah, definitely. That sounds like what's the cost of 1 stress to have that? And you're gonna roll modify to see how well your maneuvering jets work, and that's gonna account for you landing.
Okay.
So you're still in a risky position. Act of God isn't here yet, and because jets are cool. Say this risky standard.
Okay, delete selected. 3d6. Two, 5, 6.
All right, hell yeah, that's a 6. So yeah, tell us how you maneuver your jets to land where you need to be.
Yeah, so it's just as I'm zipping down, the wind's sort of buffeting me, and trying to move me in trying to push me off in a different direction. But I've got the jets just going pushing against the wind.
Nice.
Are you zigzagging as you go, like push, pull? Because the wind is pretty, I guess. What's the word? Shifting? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So you land. Where are you exactly landing towards?
I think just one of the side passages.
Nice. All right. So I think you land through the passage, and sorry, I need to clarify. You're going inside the facility, right?
Yeah.
Or okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you land through the passage, and yeah, it's a bit more of a twisty, turny journey, unlike the other two. The other two managed to land through a shaft where they can do a superhero landing pose, but for you, it's a bit more. It's more like, this is a bad example, but it's more like taking a fluoride through going to Diagon Alley from a Harry Potter film. Anyway, it's a bit of a twisty sort of roller coaster ride for you, and I think you are gonna be spat out into kind of like near I think you're gonna spat out, and you're gonna just fly out of this shaft and kind of like land on a pile of sand. But you're not gonna get hurt because you got a 6. But I think what it means is that you're not gonna get hurt. I still got to decide where you ended up, and so I think where you ended up is like it's a smaller room. It's like 10 foot tall sort of like room. It's another like rectangular sort of room. Again, it's still kind of under construction, but I think you can see like there's a door opening. I think as you kind of land in the sand, I think as you kind of lie there, you hear doors opening, and you can hear footsteps coming into the room you're in. Cool. All right. So I want to cut to Lincoln. I want to ask, like, what exactly is he doing, like, to provide Overwatch, looking out? I think no one's noticed your airship yet, but it is rocking hard because of the winds. So what are you up to, Lincoln?
Yeah, I think what I'm doing is pretty much like flying around to see like what we can do in when this wind starts going like crazy. Like mechanically speaking, I don't know how you deal with acts of God. Is that like, do you deal with them in terms of technology or?
Yeah. There are, you have specialized technology to deal with acts of God, but you're gonna have to do stuff like they are their own obstacle. Like you do not want to attack an act of God by yourself, for sure.
So like,
But they don't disappear after a score. Like they could stay here, and you can try and deal with it later. But for now, it sounds like you're just trying to look out and make sure for any obstacles.
yeah, but this would be me weaving the ship through the wind, and also not being noticed. So I'm guessing this is me doing finesse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're just weaving through the wind, but what exactly are you trying to accomplish?
Study. Like I'm trying to figure out what's going on around the building. Are the scrappers coming in? Is do you have like any?
Well, if you're gonna roll with finesse because you're weaving in and out, the effect is gonna be limited. It's the position is gonna be risky because positioning is still risky, but if you're rolling with finesse, it's gonna be limited because again you're moving the
So
ship.
if I'm doing Overwatch, as in keeping an eye out, would that be more of a study thing?
Oh
Or
yeah,
would
no, yeah. The thing is, you tell me what you want to roll, and I tell you the effect and positioning. That's kind of how the roll negotiation works. You told me finesse, and I'm telling you it's going to be limited. But if you go with study, it's going to be standard.
I guess finesse would be useful if I'm getting from one point to another, which is probably not I'm doing what the aim of this is. Like I could just be shifting in a very small area and trying to cover, like trying to watch in as wide of an area as I can. So I guess study is a better point for this, I guess.
Yeah, that's risky standard. So you roll one die. Before you do that, I'm gonna ask: do you want to push yourself or accept a ripple to take another die?
I'm going for pushing myself. I think the crew is really counting on me, and if I have a chance to provide at least intelligence just in time for them to react. Whereas if I don't push myself and I'm just like, just sitting around and stuff, then they're gonna hit by something they don't anticipate at all.
Cool.
So
take 2 stress, and you get an extra die. So it's 2d6 to study.
Please not a 455. Okay. I guess I got what I asked for.
What'd you get?
And it's a 1 and 2. I didn't get a 4 and 5. I got a 1 and 2.
Okay. Here's what happens. Okay. Risky standard. It's okay. I was gonna say 2 things happen, but let's not be too mean. 1 thing happens. Spotlights start popping out from the spotlights that are trying to train on you. You are now in a desperate position. You specifically, Lincoln, are now in a desperate position as you're trying to fight the airship, getting hit by the winds, and now there's spotlights from the facility trying to find you. Here's another mechanic I can introduce here. You can resist the consequence that I just threw at you. So what that means is that, like, you can say that doesn't happen. You still failed that roll, so you're not going to get what your study wants. But that means that you can say, "Oh, I can resist the consequence," and that's always automatically, yeah, it's going to happen if you want to resist that. But obviously, there's a cost. But I'll tell you
So
that.
this is not shifting the narrative as like a flashback. This is more like, oh no, actually, what happens is there are no spotlights, or like,
Yeah, basically, it doesn't happen. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm not gonna resist that. I'm gonna keep my stretch for worse things.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's very cool. So all right, so the spotlight's come out, and I think Sirens is gonna start out, and I think everyone inside the facility hears that sirens, like air raid sirens.
Hey, you're not being nice. Okay, I want to okay, if you want me to resist, just kidding. I'm gonna resist the sirens.
Okay, all right, okay, all right, fine.
Like spotlights, I can still try.
That's fair. I did tack on the sirens after all. We'll keep it the spotlights for now. That is fair. I shouldn't have done that. We'll keep the spotlights. But like, yeah, they're trying to aim at you. All right, back to Shadow and Nova. So you're in this room that's clearly being constructed. There's like was left behind in construction. But no one's noticed you yet. And you don't know that unless Lincoln tells you, you don't know that the airship is being detected. Do you want to do something, or do you want Mellow to like set up the distraction first?
Okay, kid, I got you in. Now find the target.
Are there any instances of places where I might be able to hack into a local network?
Yes, there is. If like it's like a couple of spaces near you. Actually, it's quite close to where it looks like someone was going to assemble a machine to connect with the chimney shaft you all got into. But yeah, there's still like an interface there. It looks like it's recently been done up. It's working. So yeah, no, there certainly is an interface there. I will say and this is true for everyone. If you want to hack, you're gonna need to have like hacking gear / an interface. To interface with it. But yeah, to hack into anything.
How does hacking gear work in comparison to an interface, and what does an interface look like?
An interface is something you can hack into, basically. So there is an interface where, like, yeah, you can look into stuff. But if you want to hack, as in modify it, so say there's an interface for like security cameras. You can see what the security cameras are doing. But if you want to hack to mess with the security cameras, you're going to need hacking gear to do that.
So you still need an interface either way.
Yeah, okay. You need gear to hack into something, and you need an interface to connect to the system.
Okay. Makes sense. Thanks.
Okay, so I will mark some hacking gear on my load. So you've mentioned that there are people nearby. Is the interface like in a risky location, or is it?
Oh no, there aren't any people nearby your place. That's near Mellow. That's where Mellow is.
Okay, fantastic. In that case, so I've marked my fine hacking gear.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to, hunker down and plug it in and see if I can't get past whatever security they have in this place.
Hell yeah. So I think there's still I think the position is still risky because spotlights have turned on and their people are prepared for something, but effect is going to be great because you got your fine hacking gear. What makes it fine? What makes it good?
What makes it good is that it's extraordinarily illegal to possess.
Okay.
It's so I looked into this during the break because I was actually a little bit curious. In the book, it mentions that information owns all of the information. There is no internet in this setting there because information has So the internet doesn't exist. Information has amassed a lot of data and sort of lets out what they want to let out. And I think that there is some like shareware version of like GitHub or some sort of like code repository, which is loaded into my hacking gear, which is hugely illegal to have because it is entirely stolen from information databases. So it's more just like the resources I have at my disposal are much riskier to be caught with.
Okay, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, but they're also much better as a result.
Hell yeah. All right, so what action rating are you rolling with? Well, I assume it's hack. I mean, but I have to ask that as part of the negotiation.
Yes. This seems like a hack to me.
So that's going to be risky great because of your fine hacking gear. Do you want to push yourself or accept the ripple?
Do I? What would a ripple look like out of curiosity?
Okay, all right. Yeah, you can reject the ripple. I can offer one to you, but you
Yes.
can absolutely reject.
I'll hear the offer.
As you hack, you're gonna your hack is not gonna be like immediately pinged, but I am going to start a 6-step clock, which is like discovery of your crew by security. That is going to be affected by stuff like the airship and Mellow and whatever the hell you basically whatever the four of you are doing. But I was gonna put that clock anyway at any point. But if you accept this ripple, I'm gonna put that clock and it's gonna start with 1 tick, and it's gonna be a 6-tick clock.
I am not going to take that.
Okay.
Don't want that blood on my head.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to roll without any specific bonuses. So that will be 2 dice.
Fair enough.
And that is a 6.
Hell yeah. See? Yeah, fair enough. You didn't need blood. You just needed to believe in the heart of the dice. All right. So great effect. What exactly are you looking for? Tell me and I'll tell you.
Yeah. So, okay. Security details where the specific gene hacker that we are looking for is in the compound. Best ways to get from where we are to where she is. That sort of.
All right. So since it's a 6, I think you'll get the full shebang. As in, you'll know exactly where she is, and the best. Well, okay, you'll know exactly where she is, and you'll find several good routes to get to her, for sure. She is, she's at the basement of this place. Well, the ground floor. There's not really a basement again because the stuff is waterlogged. So the thing is, it is a ways away. You're a bit of ways away from her. Actually, no. You rolled a 6, so you are like 3 floors away from her. And you'll notice that the floor below you is like living space because you actually landed kind of like in the more derelict, abandoned parts of the lab. The floor beneath you is more derelict space. The floor underneath that is living space, and then the floor after that are labs. And I think you can pass on to the shadow. You've got a fairly good route of getting to where she is. And I think because it's 6, it's actually no, I'll keep it risky. I don't want to be too nice, but yeah, you got a good route. And security, from what you get, is most of them are concentrated on kind of the outside. They're expecting a fight. They were not expecting infiltrators to sneak in. They're expecting the scrappers to come in a convoy and start lobbing mines at each other or whatever nonsense they do. So most of the security is concentrated around kind of the outside. So the 2 of you seems to be a bit on the clear. That's the info you get.
So it shouldn't be difficult to find a really neat shaft running through the core of the building then.
No, it shouldn't be too hard. course, the tricky part now is like if you get her, how are you going to get out? But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Cool. Shadow, is there anything you want to do at this, or
No, I'm content. Well, I mean, we will now be securing nylon rope to the top of this shaft, and we will be ghosting down the shaft to the floor where she is.
All right. We'll do that in a sec. Let's do Mellow's distraction. So Mellow, you're lying on a pile of sand. Ahead of you, you can hear like door opening, and someone and footsteps kind of coming in, and the door, and them closing the door behind them. And I think it's one of those doors that you have to like drag open. So someone's doing this quite deliberately. Well, okay, not drag. It's not gonna it doesn't make that much noise, but it's still kind of like you still have to drag it, and yeah. So there's footsteps. They haven't seen you yet. What do you do?
So it sounds like just one person.
Yeah, just one person.
Okay. So I'm just gonna wait on behind the door, and then I'm gonna try and knock them out when they come in.
Nice. All right. That sounds. What are you rolling? I should remember. I don't tell you what to roll. You tell me what you want.
Not
to roll.
PBTA.
It's yeah. It's not like that. Yeah. I
Combat.
Hell yeah. I think this is a risky standard. It seems like it's in your wheelhouse. You did succeed on modify roll, but it's still kind of risky. There's some idiot in it. No, not an idiot, but there's some fool in an airship outside making noise. So, look, it happens. It's not.
Wait, were you referring to me? No.
No, there could be a lot of airships out there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did we not explain this was part of the plan? We want them looking out and up.
Yeah.
It's all part of
I
the
knew
plan.
this already. This is the part of the flashback.
So we can have like a no stress flashback to like guys. It's part of the plan. All right, yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be a risky standard. Do you want to push yourself or accept the ripple?
Ripple.
All right. I think. I think what's gonna happen is that, whatever happens here, whether you succeed or fail, people are gonna notice that this person is missing. So I'm offering the same one I offered to Nova, the alert status, 6-tick clock, but with 1 tick already. Because whatever happens here, they're gonna notice that this person is gone.
I'll mark to stress.
Okay. Okay. All right. So 2 dice. Risky standard.
I'll get rid of that one.
Stress. Stress is there to be used.
And re-roll the other 2. Oi.
Ooh. Okay.
Is it possible for someone else to have a flashback to help Mellow out?
I don't. I'm not sure.
That's one of my special abilities, which I didn't pick.
Yeah, I think that yeah, if there's special abilities that they can let you do that, I don't think you can do that just regularly.
But what is the result? Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's a 3. All right. All right. Let me double check something. Actually, you know what? We've been here for another hour. Let's take another 5, and we'll see what happens to poor Mellow.
And you'll get your clock. Fine.
Finally, I'll get my clock. All right. Be back in 5.
Okay.
All right.
By the way, Leandro, are you here? Okay, you're done.
I've just discovered the Hack the Planet has an official soundtrack.
Wait, does it?
Yeah.
Huh. Huh.
Yep.
That must have been from the Kickstarter. Ooh, let's check that out.
I'll put it in the chat.
Ooh.
So I had a question. How many stress can one take?
I can go up to, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Is it 8? Oh, hold on. Let me check the actual sheet. I might have gotten it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, it is 8. You can get more. There is, in this, unlike other blades, there is a stress track, a stress advancement XP track where you can train it in between scores to up your stress, because it's you have a limit of 8. You can get more up to 12. You'll actually lose some if you get more cybernetics, but that's a different, we'll talk about that when we get to downtime. But yeah, your limit is 8.
And so why is cell I seem to have 2 stress, but see the cell number B14 is empty. Is that not part of my stress track? How is the layout here?
No, you have 2 stress. I just put the X's in C14 and D14.
So B14 is not part of the track, or is it?
No, B14, it has the word stress in it. Oh, B14, no, it's not part of it.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Okay, all right. So let's go back to Mellow. Roll the 3. So here's what's gonna happen. You try to ambush. Oh, yeah, he's Rob back. Actually, I should confirm that first. All right, Rob's probably not back yet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
while you were gone, Rob, someone came up and happened a lot on multi-user dungeons where you would step away from your keyboard and then you would come back to see you're dead.
Nah, you're not dead. And so what happened is you tried to ambush this person who you can see what they look like because everything's in shadow. Here's the funny thing that happens. Well, how do you exactly ambush him? Just you hide behind the door to knock them out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to swing at them instead, almost like they're expecting you. They grab your arm and throw you forward, and you're gonna land on your back, and suddenly there's a knee against your neck. You're not gonna take harm. You're gonna be in a desperate position, and this person who you can't see clearly because it's dark. They're wearing like a sort of white lab coat and like fatigues underneath the lab coat, and you can tell when they press the knee against you, it's like that their knee is like reinforced, and this person kind of says in like this soft electronic voice, "Who sent you?"
Okay.
You can resist that. You can resist that if you want. Actually, I should offer that as always.
No, I'll take it. So I wanna see if there are any obvious wires or anything in this person's cybernetics that they obviously have. So, I'm gonna just take my knife and cut away.
What are you rolling with?
I think wreck probably.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That sounds what it is. It is. Yeah. That sounds what it is. So, what sort of knife do you have? Is that like a blade or two? I'm just making sure that we're actually ticking stuff off this items list.
Let's see. Probably like a combat knife of some kind.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Wreck. That's gonna be desperate standard.
Okay.
For sure. Do you want to take some stress or ripple?
Ripple.
Well, guess what kind of what ripple I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
This time because you refused me, it's going to be 2 ticks instead of 1. It's going to start with 2. You happy with that?
No, but I'm not. It's better than being in this position. So.
All right. Okay. Cool. Take the die.
Okay.
I'm gonna set up a
That's a
clock.
6.
For real. Let me set up the clock. It's gonna show up in the roll for your party. I'll just keep mentioning it so the party would know. Split teams alert. All right. There we go. Look at those pizza slices. Oh. All right. So on a 6, you're absolutely gonna do it. Let me check something. You're in a death. Oh,
a desperate action.
Hell yeah. Check actual summary. Summary is always good. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna do it. So what does it look like when you like just stab him through or try to ruin their cybernetic knee?
Yeah, so I know where the join is, like in the plating. So I just take the knife, jam it in between the plating, and sparks fly.
Ooh, I think because it's a 6, yeah, you do it. You jam it through, and what happens is like the lower leg that they have, which is their right leg, actually detaches, and they can just hop back. But they're standing on one leg, but they're doing it with such balance, which is, you think about it, it's a bit weird that this random person is so really finely balanced. And I think when you kind of like stand up, because you're gonna stand up, you can able to stand up because their knee is no longer on your neck. You can see like it's not just like there's a shadow, so you can't see their face. It's almost like there are shadows around their face, and I think they're reaching into their coat, and they're saying, like, again in that soft electronic voice, all you had to do was answer the question. You didn't have to make this into anything ugly. And they're reaching, they're saying that they're reaching to their coat pocket, inside their coat.
I've still got the knife, so I'm gonna jam it in his throat.
All right, we'll come back from this to. We'll come back from Mellow to. Let's cut to you, Lincoln. How you doing up there in the sky, Lincoln?
Trying not to give us away, basically.
Okay.
Which is a noble thing to do.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So I'll just try and evade the spotlights by weaving between them and like trying to get out of their range.
Cool. What are you rolling with?
I'm going for finesse. I'm also pushing myself has 2 stress, I think, or
Yes.
or what?
2 stress, and you get an extra die.
Yeah, so let's go for that.
Okay, you don't want a ripple? I've run out of the one I keep giving, so I have to come up with a new one.
4 ticks. I know.
I know. I have
I
to
know
come up
your
with.
tricks.
Oh, come on! I'm not. Am I that transparent? Anyway, all right, cool. You take the stress. All right, that's 3 dice. Then for finesse, it's gonna be desperate standard. This is in your wheelhouse. Finesse works here. This isn't really ghost because they know something's up there. Yeah, 3d6.
Great. So 5.
5 is still a success. Mixed success. Okay, so you're gonna weave in and out. It's fine. But here's what you see in the horizon. As you kind of not in the horizon, but as you're kind of weaving in, you see 2 things. To kind of like one side, you see these dark burgeoning clouds. It's like a gigantic funnel of dark clouds headed your direction. So you see that. That's the act of God coming your way. To the other side, as in like saying, if you look to your left, you see that. Let's say you're like above the citadel to the building. To its left, act of God coming. To its right, you'll see a convoy of vehicles coming, making their way. The scrappers are coming soon, and I'm gonna make a 4-step clock because once they get there, they're gonna see you, Lincoln. But you're gonna avoid the spotlights for now. So what's actually gonna happen is, you are safe at the moment, Lincoln.
Yeah, I think as I see this, I'm kind of like I like with so many threats advancing on either side, I just take the time to communicate with people like in a one-way communication, as in I don't expect people to reply, and like you probably hear me like grunting as I like try to shift the ship from spotlight to spotlight, wind, clouds coming, trying not to get too much to the right so that the scrappers don't see me, and I'm like, hey all, I think we need to get out very soon because there is this massive cloud coming, and the scrappers are also around, and they don't really seem like they're coming here to sign a deal or anything. So we don't want to be caught between them and the wind and the split piece. So please come back soon.
Oh no. I think we cut from there to Shadow and Nova. You hear Lincoln's plea.
Just mechanically, I just wanted to ask a question, Leandro. I have to say, when I picked Infiltrator as my special ability, I assumed it worked with Ghost. It doesn't. It works with Modify, which is pretty worthless to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's okay with you, I'll go for Cutting Edge instead.
I'll let you do that because I once let like botch character creation go through the campaign, and that player was fairly miserable for most of that campaign. So I'm not gonna let that happen again. Yeah, for sure. I'll let you do that.
So are we at the bottom of this shaft on the same floor as Irene now?
I think I'll add that for sure to the success that Nova got. Just to, like, speed things up a bit. So you're at the bottom of the shaft, and I think you're inside like what looks like a small sort of furnace room, and I think you hear movement outside. There's like 3 doors to like either way. So you're like on the furnace and to its left, right, and front. There's like 3 doors, and there's like just more construction work in that room, and you can hear like movement, just like a lot of hurried panic movement. And I think actually this is when the sirens come in because they know like the scrappers are coming.
Are there any kind of portholes or grills in these doors that we could see through?
Yeah, for sure. The I think actually no. Why am I giving you like a three-door mystery? I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I should just mention as part of the schematic. You know where Irene is. I should have just done that. So I think the doorway towards where Irene is to like to the lab works, and I think if you look through like there's like a I think there's not much technology. There is some technology, but like there is like just a peephole through the door where leading towards Irene, and you'll see like there's like it's a proper like lab, as in like there are like lots of computer terminals and desks. There's like tubes, beakers. It almost looks like it's set up to be like a chemistry classroom, like just a bunch of desks leading towards like the far room, the far wall. There's like computer terminals and whatnot. There's to the left. There's like a bunch of like vats of like gunk and whatnot. And I think there's like three people. Three people in there, and a big fuck off security turret above them. And I think you see there's an argument going on. The two people are surrounding this third, and you can hear. And I'm giving this all for free because I'm nice. Actually, no, you'll see them arguing. That's the most I'll give you.
Kid, can you cut the power in there? Power and lights.
So, I have an idea, and it's one that I would like to very briefly consult because it is it's a move that if I were to take this move, I think it would pretty solidly cement our position in what we must do after I take this move. Yes. So, I do have an ability because of my modified nanites. I have the ability to mirror someone else's nanites if I touch them. Now, assuming that these turrets are linked to one of the people in this room, if I select the right person in this room and I mirror their nanites, and then I grab Irene and I run, I should be able to command the turrets to fire on everyone else in the room.
Wow. I wouldn't say no to that. Go ahead, Shadow.
Just one concern, kid. What if they're tied to the big guy and not to Irene?
Well, see, that is a concern. And that is a concern. See, that is the risk in this plan, is that if Irene doesn't have the nanite link that I'm hoping, then I'm screwed. But
I don't think you're entirely screwed, because at least there's a decent chance if they're not tied to her, then it might be that they're tied to avoid killing her.
See, that is also a good point. Actually, I have a much better idea, which involves much less death, which I'm going to go for. It has the same core principle. So one of my items actually is custom flickerware. I do have flickerware that when I mark it and activate it, I do turn briefly invisible. So I think that my way out of here is going to be to turn on my flickerware so that way the people don't notice me. Grab onto Irene so that way my nanites can remap themselves to mirror her so that way the turrets don't notice me. and then grab Irene and pull her out, which the people will ultimately notice, but hopefully we are able to extract quick enough to make this a very confusing escape for everyone else involved. But as I am invisible in this process, they hopefully will not see who I am. So, you know.
As you're explaining this, there's sirens, there's yelling.
I mean, I suppose that part of this is kind of when we're expecting the explosion that Mellow is setting up, isn't it? Because at the point there's an explosion, that means there's a real attack.
Yes.
And that's the point at which the lights go out. I kill everyone else. You take Irene. We escape easily.
Indeed. But unfortunately, it seems as though that explosion is not, well, has not come yet. And it seems like we need to get out of here quick.
Yeah.
So
can't wait for the explosion. Make the light, just to check, the door between us and them, are we going to have to take time getting through that door?
No. The thing with this being a derelict lab is that they've barely had time to jury stuff. Even though split piece are tier 3, I'm considering this place the same tier as y'all.
Okay.
One thing that I wanted to offer you guys, because I didn't hear you mention it, is flashbacks. You can totally be like, I don't know, as a backup measure, I rigged the security system to turn off the lights when I hacked earlier, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just.
Oh yeah, I did hack into the
like just
local network earlier.
Yeah, you totally have flashbacks. But then that was like, then I'm wondering then, like, why do that and then send off Mellow to?
Yeah, I don't think we need a flashback unless it's to overcome a problem when we encounter one. I'm convinced that Nova can just turn the lights off.
Can I turn the lights off?
You're gonna need to you need an interface. You can't just like
yeah.
Oh, I will say your machine plasma can establish a link to technology within a few feet from you.
Good point.
That is another thing.
Extending finger of nanites.
Yeah. Okay.
Extending a finger of nanites. That is so superhero. 3 point.
Yeah, I have to say that's where it comes from.
Great.
Okay. So is there a physical interface that I could use in this vestibule? Or would it have to be?
No,
would I have to side load it? You know.
No. I'm against not letting you do the cool things you want to do. Or I will say there is totally. I mean, you're in a lab. They're gonna have interfaces everywhere, but we're like, oh, we need to like. I think here's the thing: you look at this interface, you see the last login. It's like, oh, I had a neat idea on how to grow double apples, and then someone responded like, what the heck are double apples? You'll see. And yeah, I think I like the idea that split piece set up these interfaces, and when they had an idea, they can just log it into their server. So there's totally an interface there.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to physically interface with that. I already interfaced with a network on the top floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I probably like know the password at this point. So
yeah.
I think I interface in to the physical interface.
Mm-hmm. What are you trying to do?
I would like to. Okay. So I think here is my game plan here. Here's our game plan here. I think that the way that we're going to get out of here is we're going to create a distraction of our own now. We are going to I'm going to sneak in, grab Irene, and run in the course of that distraction. So turning the lights off seems like a good distraction, but it might also not be enough of a distraction, is my one concern. So
You don't need to worry about the rest of the distraction, kid. Just turn the fucking lights out.
All right. In that case, I want to turn the lights out, and then the rest of the whole process that I talked over earlier. Invisible, grab, nanite, copy, run.
Okay. All right. Let's fold that. Just to be fun, let's all fold that into one roll. Turn the lights off.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because you hacked it in already, so you can hack it in, turn the lights, and then come in and grab her. What are you rolling with this?
Well, do you want the distraction?
Okay, yeah, let's do distraction first, and then we'll see the other stuff.
Okay. Well, I have fine camo wear, which means that I can blend with surroundings. So once the lights go out, the door opens and a shadow leaps into the room. My cutting edge, when you push yourself, choose one of the following additional benefits when wielding your blades. Activate their searing capabilities, giving them potency equal to a sunjet. I'm not quite sure what a sunjet is, but I'm going to take the big guy apart. I'm going to use Ghost to do that because I think I have surprise.
All right, cool. Let's get the distraction first, and then we'll see. Actually, no, because you already hacked in. Yeah, the lights will just go off. You okay with that, Nova?
Yep, works for me.
Cool. All right. So yeah, all that what you said there, Shadow. You're gonna ghost in. I think with the distraction, yeah, this is gonna be risky. Giving them potency equal to a sunjet.
For the record, a sunjet is, and I quote, a kind of gun that emits a beam of energy that cuts through most objects. Banned tech.
I've got a lightsaber. Okay, so these are my two fine blades.
Okay. Yeah, that ups your
Sure.
potency.
Lightsaber.
So you're gonna do it ghost, which is like, yeah, you're gonna ambush them. This is gonna be risky. It's gonna be risky, great, because you have a fucking lightsaber.
What happens if I go for desperate standard?
No, well, I think you only got desperate standard because in the terms of how we term it, risky limited might as well equal desperate standard because you had risky limited at that role. But here it's risky great. Like
Okay.
you two are not in a desperate position.
That's okay. That's okay. So I'm just rolling 3 dice for Ghost then.
Yes. You don't want to accept a ripple?
No, that's a 6, a 5, and a 4.
Oh, is that you got a 6?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. The lights turn out, and I think the perspective of like the security of the big guys you mentioned, I think you kind of come in and you hear like there's an argument. There's like 2 people arguing, and yeah, but you aim at the big guy, and the only thing they see is like this blade just kind of like scissors through this guy, and yeah, he's just dead. Like we're not gonna really describe it. You just you've killed him, and I guess you're gonna grab Irene.
No, that's not the plan. The plan.
Yeah. So I grab Irene.
Okay.
I'm going to take out the gun.
Oh, okay, yeah. The gun, yeah. I think yes, definitely. The gun is just you have a lightsaber. You're tearing that gun into pieces, and I think as you're tearing it, like yeah, Nova, you're putting on your flicker gear, your flicker wear.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
actually, well, if the lights are already out and we already have a lightsaber fight going on, I don't think I need invisibility. I'm probably already wearing like dark clothing. So let's save that for a later day. But while this sudden chaos has occurred, Nova is gonna run in, grab Irene, and run out.
All right. Because of Shadow's thing, I think you're gonna have an increased effect. But tell me what you're rolling with this.
So this is, I want this to be Ghost. I want, while they're all looking at Shadow, they're all focused on this like insane, just like the lights went out and all of a sudden like shit's going down. And while this is all happening, I want to just sneak in and grab her and pull her out before she notices or any of them do.
Okay. This is that's fine. Risky. Yeah, I think it's definitely like risky great as well. I think all the planning and the stuff you put in there puts it to great effect.
Okay.
Are you down with 2d6, or do you want to push yourself or accept the ripple?
I am.
Or the other thing is, Shadow could assist you, can give you an extra die by taking on 1 stress.
I'll do that.
Yeah, this seems like a situation where I've been assisted already. So I will roll 3d6 as a matter of fact.
Well, you only need to take 1 stress, Shadow. Assist is like 1 stress.
So I have to push myself to use the.
Oh no, that's for yourself. Assisting another player is 1 stress.
Sorry, no, it costs me 2 stress in order to use the lightsabers.
Oh yes. So you take another one. All right.
So I will roll these dice. That is a 5 as my highest.
5. All right. So on a 5, well, it's still a success. So what's gonna happen is you are gonna let me double check. Yeah, you're gonna do as you say. As Shadow is pretty much doing the opposite. Well, I guess he's casting shadows with his lightsaber as he's tearing apart the security gun. You're gonna come in and grab Irene, and I think the moment you kind of like drag her, I think she's stupefied by all this happening. It's dark. There's a lightsaber. She was in the middle of arguing with someone, and then when you grab her, do you say something, Nova, as you grab her, or are you just gonna drag her out?
Do I say anything while I grab her out?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. If I'm trying to be subtle about this whole thing.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, I think. But I think the moment you kind of like pull her out of the door, you hear a small beep, that coming from her wrist, and I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna add some ticks to a clock. Split piece alert. I'm gonna add 2 ticks to it. That's the mixed success. Basically, if that clock fills up, they're gonna the split piece are gonna ignore the scrappers and come after you all.
Okay.
That's a concept. But yeah, you grab her and I think there's a moment where like you're out of the door and she's kind of realized what just happened and tries to pull away from you. And she's like, "What? Who the fuck are you?"
Now I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to resist those ticks,
you can totally do it. You still get the success.
I can. Yeah, I know I can. I know I can. My question is really more so: am I allowed to not resist in the way that I normally would? Like I normally resisting. I want to keep my stress low. So now if I were to use my nanites in order to establish a link to technology within a few feet from you, could I resist by, hacking into her wrist thing and cutting off that?
That would be a separate action roll to reduce the ticks. That's not resistance. Resistance is saying this didn't happen. But if you fictionally want to do something, that's an action roll. You can actually take away ticks from the clock, but that's a separate action.
Okay. Right now, I'm not going to do that, but I will. Good to know that it is an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an option. Yeah, you can totally take away ticks from that. But yeah, I think we'll cut away from you. She says, like, "Who the fuck are you?" And we'll cut to Mellow. So Mellow, you trying to stab this dude?
Actually, I think I'm gonna instead draw my EMP grenade.
Oh hell yeah!
And just arm it and drop it between the two of us.
So is it gonna set off once you drop it?
Yep.
Oh my god!
What does an EMP grenade do?
It is a device that let me find it.
It's an electromagnetic pulse. It'll blow out all the electronics.
Ah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that she had an electronic voice?
Yeah. They spoke in an a soft electronic voice.
So-
Yeah.
Definitely, there is some cyberware going on.
There's a lot of cyberware going on with this person.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
Alan, you were saying something. Adam?
Can I
Yeah.
do that with modify?
Ooh. If it's modify, I mean, well, it's an EMP grenade. It's gonna do what it does. So modify. You're trying to modify this person. Because because it's a grenade. You know.
Okay, I'll go with combat then.
Okay. It could be combat or wreck. Because I was gonna say, if it's modify, it's gonna be like, because it's a grenade, I'll still be desperate standard. But if it's a combat or wreck, it's desperate great.
Okay. Ripple.
Okay. Here's the ripple. As you like drop the grenade, I think as you guys, as you're in the middle of pulling out the grenade, I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna hear this person kind of like sigh and say like, I don't have time for this, and you don't see them press anything, but you hear like a couple beeps behind you, and you'll know this because you're a torque, that a bunch of bombs behind you have been armed. Obviously, that can't.
Fine. That is fine.
Oh, look! Well, good luck. We'll see. It's a complication, but if you succeed this roll, you'll be fine. All right. So take that ripple. Desperate, great.
Yeah, I rolled. I rolled already, and I got a 2 and a 3.
What? Wait, hold on. Roll for a Party has been doing this, where it's just like that's the same roll you rolled. That makes okay. You know what? Fine. I'll all right. Okay. Mark XP. Oh my gosh. I think what's gonna happen here.
This is like a perfect Netflix cliffhanger.
All right. Yeah, okay. I'll read out what happens on a desperate, desperate 3. It's the worst outcome. You suffer severe harm. A serious complication occurs. You lose this opportunity for action. So here's what happens. I think you pull out the grenade, and as soon as like you drop it, this person kind of just inclines their head a bit, and there's an explosion behind you. And I think what's gonna happen is like, as you're still holding onto the grenade, as you're gonna arm it, but the explosion is gonna kind of catch you, and it's gonna push you back and push you forward. As kind of like this person is retreating outside of the room, and you're gonna get caught by like fire and whatnot. This is look, severe harm. This is a level 3 harm. Yeah, the exploderized is not a word, but yeah, this is gonna be like you are gonna be severely burned. You can resist that, but what's gonna happen is gonna drop it down to level 2 harm.
I'll take it.
You're gonna take level 2. Okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
Can I flashback?
Well, tell me what the flash. What are you considering?
I want to flash back to before we jumped out of the airship. Mellow handed us each a new kind of earbud or whatever, put a tweak on the interface so that if the worst comes to the worst, if someone's vitals go critical, then we get a direction to it.
I can see that happening. Could I
actually a much simpler strategy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know exactly what Rob has marked so far. So you only have one load taken of your 5 slots that you have available. And now might be a very good time to mark some armor.
It could be.
Yeah.
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 Oh, go ahead.
So that's 2 slots in it.
Yeah. That means you don't take the harm.
Okay.
Which is good. But
It will mean that all your equipment is now used up.
No, only
3. Only 3 slots. Because
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
well, and the EMP grenade actually.
oh yes, and the EMP grenade.
So you still have 1 slot left.
Yep. But there was an explosion already. So
Yeah, that was part of the ripple. It was just gonna hurt you. See, that's the thing with Forge in the Dark stuff. Like, complications could happen. You can always resist it, either by resisting it or armor or whatnot. So you don't have to take the worst. You don't have to take level 3 because harm in these games suck. So and they take a while to get rid of, and depending on the harm, with bad side effects. Okay, so man, this score is all right, since we're nearly close to time, we're still in the middle of this score. It happens. Let's cut to Lincoln one last time. Is there anything you need to do? You see the explosion has happened, and I think Shadow's still fighting. I think you're done fighting the turret at this point, for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm just pursuing. The same route in as we took, same route out as we took in.
Okay. All right. I think you come out to like you'll probably come out of the room just as Irene is saying, "Who the fuck are you?" to Nova. But I think as she says that, you'll feel just the explosion finally come off, and you'll see Lincoln from your perch up above, the big plume of fire coming out. And is there any last thing you want to do, Lincoln, before we close out this session?
How are clocks doing? There's the scrapper clock. There's the being discovered clock. What's going on with our?
The alert clock is 4 out of 6. Actually, as part of that, I should add 1. The scrappers arrive. I'm gonna add 1 tick to that. As part of that, I should do that as they're coming. I think so. Scrappers like 1 out of 4. The split piece alert is 4 out of 6.
Okay. How much harm did you end up having, Mellow?
I don't think I took any because I used the armor. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no harm. Everything's still fine.
Oh, okay, great. So I think at this point, what I want to do is I'm wondering what can help us, because it sounds like you guys at like Shadow and No have it under control. Mellow has just dodged the whole explosion, and scrappers are far away. You'll probably make it out before they arrive. The massive cloud is also not going to hit us, and they are probably not going to notice you because you're just like heading out. Am I assuming too much?
Yeah, as far as things go, you're still in a desperate position because the spotlights are well, you avoid the spotlights for now because the scrappers are coming.
Yeah.
But you're still kind of in a desperate position. Mellow is in a desperate position because an explosion happened. People are going to be coming their way. But Nova and a Shadow are fine at the moment. They just have
Okay,
to deal
great. And what functionalities does Airship does the airship have? Like, can I attack stuff with it? Like, I'm wondering if I can shoot down the spotlight or like.
Ooh, I don't think your airship comes with weapons. Let me check. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
A nice ship.
What ship?
It's a nice ship.
Ah. Okay. I'm wondering. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get ready for extraction. So like, I'm going to be ready and waiting for. I think I'm going to ask people who is going to come out first. Is anyone in a position to communicate?
I don't think I don't think we're at the point where we can know that with a minute to play.
Yeah.
Okay, I think at this point, then I'll just have to maintain weaving to not draw any attention, right? I
Okay.
think that has to go on in the background, like spotlights, because I don't see a way of stopping these crazy spotlights.
I think the yeah, I think yeah, we don't have time to roll that out. So I think I think all I need is just that, just like what this episode's to be continued. I think is gonna be over. It's gonna be like, yeah, Mellow is probably getting up from the explosion, only to find that the mysterious assailant they had is gone. Shadow and Nova dealing with Irene. I think, yeah, she's saying, "Who the fuck are you?" It's like the fifth time I've said that, and the lights flicker. Shadow still wielding their lightsabers, and yeah, Lincoln up in the sky, trying to position the airship ready for extraction. Has 20 different things. Yeah. Spotlights, scrappers,
wind.
Act of God, the winds. So all of the day's work in Shelter 1.
Just a normal day.
It's just a normal day. All right, cool. Let's see. I think we'll wrap it. We'll wrap it up there for today. If that's okay with folks. I hope y'all. I hope y'all had. It will. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I was at getting a broadcast. The players are great. They're great. They are great and a half. That makes sense. Thanks very much for inventive solutions, inventive attempts at solutions. Some really cool little moments, great moments. Yeah, I was had to put them on the record, so I'm going to end the broadcast. I did not. I clicked the table instead of the